Welcome to Learn It, a series of digital scrapbooking tutorials by Wendyzine Scraps. Hey everyone, today I wanted to demonstrate how to use a double page layout in Shutterfly's interface. So the first thing that we want to do when we have a double page spread is to make sure that we have enough border area around the page for trimming. In this case, my layout is exactly 24 by 12, but it's pretty close to the edge here. I'm going to lose quite a bit of this border here to the trimming. So what we're going to do is just make a quick and easy adjustment. This particular one is not exact. It's kind of a generic overall adjustment that will work for most printers. In general, I want to add about 1/4 of an inch to the layout. That's 1/8 of an inch on each side. Unless I'm reducing it to a smaller size book, in which case I need actually a little bit more. So let's just go into the canvas size, and you'll see here it's 24 by 12 in inches. If I was going to print this a 12 by 12 book, I'd want to change it to 24.25 by 12.25. But since I know I want to print this as a 10 by 10, I'm actually going to give myself a little bit more leeway with the border. So I'm going to go ahead and add 1/2 an inch. So I'm going to make this 24.5 by 12.5. Okay. Now all that's doing is extending my canvas size. And you'll see when I do that, some funky things kind of happen. My template shape here is showing without the paper covering it. Over here, I see the template shape is not even showing. I'm just getting transparent background. And in some cases, you may even see that like your background papers are not extended to the edge. All that's fine. We're going to fix it right now really easy. So let's bring up the layers panel. And the first thing I'm going to do is grab the template layers here. And I'm going to grab both of them by command clicking on them and hitting Command T. And then this is the one that isn't showing all the way. I'm going to make sure I'm viewing the screen over here. Whoops. I'm just going to enlarge it ever so slightly so that it's completely filling the canvas. Okay, and that's all I have to do there. And now I need to do the same thing with the papers that are clipped to those layers. So I'm Command or Control clicking on those so I get both of those layers. Command T to transform, and then I'm just going to enlarge them just a tiny bit, fill that space. Okay. And now you'll see all the layout looks exactly the same. I just have a little bit more border to play with around the edges. In some cases, you may see something like this, where your other background paper is also not all the way out to the edge. Just grab that one, extend it, make sure it's covering the whole canvas. One more quick thing I want to mention before we move on. If you are printing a book with a regular binding, the area that goes down the fold, right down here, you want to make sure you don't have anything important there. None of your text should be in that area. A title should not be going over that. You don't want to have pieces of a photo that have a face or something important to the picture in that area. And I generally leave at least 1/2 an inch free. So that would be 1/4 inch for each side of the page. And if you can, a little bit more is even more helpful. If you do have a title that you want to run across both pages, what you can do is like stop the word here and leave a gap and start it again over here. And that will help so that those letters don't get cut off. Now, if you're doing a lay flat book, then you don't have to worry about this. The lay flat books will print and you will see the entire page. So only if you're doing a stitched or glued book do you need to worry about this gutter section. So in the end, in the end, you don't want to see any transparent area or any template shapes out here around the edges. You want to see your background paper fill the canvas entirely. So that's all we have to do to fix this. And let's go ahead and save our JPEG. I like to save my layouts with a quality of 10, and I choose Optimized here and press OK. All right, so let's pop over to Shutterfly and see how we can put this book together. Here we are at Shutterfly, and I'm just going to go to the Photo Books category, and that brings up the photo book options. I'm going to choose the custom path. that gives me the most flexibility when I'm working on a book, and the 10 by 10 since that's the size I want to print. And then from here, it doesn't really matter what book you choose because we are just going to use a full bleed option. So I usually, just to make it easier on myself, choose either one of the kind of plain white ones or one of the ones that has like a full photo option. But let's just choose this modern white, and you want to make sure you choose your cover style up here before you get started. And if you're happy with that, just choose select this style. And the next thing Shutterfly does is prompt us to add our photos. So I'm going to go ahead and click Add Photos, and I can just drag and drop or click Choose Photos to get the photos here. So let's click Choose Photos, and these are the layouts that I've prepared here. So I'm going to select those and click Add. All right, and it wants to know, can it place them? And I'm going to say no, I want to place them myself. Okay, now one thing you can do is storyboard your photos. And this is where I like to work with a double page spread. The reason is I can see all of my layouts here. I can even get started while they're still uploading because it uploads a thumbnail first before it finishes uploading them. And more importantly, this is where I can make a double page spread really easily. So I have 5 pages here to work with. So what I'm going to do is click Make Spread on the first 5 things here. It had a problem uploading this image, so let's just click Try again. So let's go. Okay, so we've made a bunch of double page spreads here. And then all we have to do is drag them onto the spreads. So my very first one is this one here. So I'm going to click that and drag it on. And then second, third, and since Shutterfly is having problems uploading this one, I'm just going to ignore it for now. In the past, what I've had to do when I get this problem is just rename the file and try uploading it again. And I'm just going to delete that one out of there. Once you've populated all your images onto your storyboards here, you can rearrange them if you want to by just dragging the pictures around. So if you need to do that, you can. When you're happy with that, you can just go ahead and click back to the Edit panel. And you'll see here our pages are full bleed across both spreads, and we have placed our double page layouts right onto the pages here. And you'll also see that we have plenty of border around each page. So that is ideal. You just want to make sure that nothing's getting cut off there with your pages. So these look really good. Now, if you come across a page, and this happens to me every once in a while, where it doesn't actually fill the page, like say it does a different layout like this one, okay? And that's not what we wanted. All we have to do is on our Layouts tab here, scroll up to the top where we have the full bleed option and click that, and that should reset that image onto that page. But that's about it. So in just a couple minutes, you can actually bring your double page spreads right into a Shutterfly book. And let me pop back to the storyboard real quick. Keep in mind that your first page and your last page are going to be single pages. So you can either create an individual square page to put in those spots, or create a title page, or just throw a big photo in there, whatever you need to do. But that very first page and that very last page cannot be a double page layout there. And then we can go back to edit. And then also don't forget that you need to design your cover. And I find for myself that designing a cover, a back cover, and a spine separately tend to work best in Shutterfly. And so you want to upload those 3 pieces and drag and drop them. So that's how to use your double page layouts in Shutterfly. I hope this has been helpful, and I will see you next time.